They say diplomacy is a hit or miss. You win some, you lose some. In Europe, diplomacy has lost so far. But in West Asia, a much-needed win is in the works. I'm talking about the Iran nuclear deal. We are told it's just a matter of time. The new deal could be signed in days. Only two things can spoil the party now: Israel's belligerence and Iran's defiance. Let's talk about the first one. What happens in Vienna does not stay in Vienna. It has direct consequences for Israel. And right now, Prime Minister Naftali Bennett is not happy. He says the new deal is shorter and weaker.
So we look to Vienna and we're deeply troubled by what we see. For Israel and all the stability-seeking forces in the Middle East, the emerging deal, as it seems, is highly likely to create a more violent, more volatile Middle East. Now, there's no doubt that America is and will remain our biggest and strongest friend. But ultimately, it's us. It's us who live in the region.
So Israel is unhappy and they're making sure the West knows it. On Monday, they tested a new naval defense system. It's called the Sea Dome, sort of like the naval version of the Iron Dome. Israeli officials called it another layer of protection against Iran and its proxies. Now, just to be clear, we do not know what the new nuclear deal looks like. We do not know whether it's weaker or shorter. Having said that, there are some indications. Number one, Iran will suspend uranium enrichment beyond 5%. Number two, Iran must release all Western prisoners. Number three, the West will unfreeze Iranian reserves worth $7 billion. And number four, the gradual lifting of sanctions. These steps will not happen at once. They will happen in phases. Enrichment, prisoner release and cash reserves come first. Once they are confirmed, sanctions will be lifted. What about oil? Will Iran be able to sell its oil in the global market? Reports say this is going to take some time. First a waiver, then a complete lifting of sanctions. Is Iran happy with this plan? Broadly speaking, yes it is. Their top priority is to secure relief from sanctions, to sell their oil again. This deal allows them to do so. At the same time, some old concerns do remain. What if America leaves the deal again? To avoid this, Iran wants two guarantees. A political statement from Western parliaments, and B, the option to rapidly restore their nuclear program if the West betrays them again.
One of the most important guarantees we asked for and we are pursuing seriously is the ability to restore our nuclear program rapidly in case any deal is reached in Vienna. This is an essential night for the Islamic Republic of Iran.
These final stages are crucial. In fact, both sides will have to offer concessions. Iran may have to unilaterally release all Western prisoners. The US may have to symbolically lift some sanctions. Neither move is going to be popular at home, but that's the cost of statesmanship. Also, it's time for Gulf states to get involved. Iran's President Ibrahim al-Raisi is visiting Qatar. This trip could lead to a breakthrough. Qatar has excellent ties with Iran. At the same time, they were designated as a major non-NATO ally this year. So Doha has enough leverage on both sides. Iran can use this visit as an olive branch to other Gulf nations. The question is, how will their rival Saudi Arabia respond?
Is rapprochement achievable? Certainly it is. I mean, some months ago, our Crown Prince in a television interview stated quite clearly that the kingdom is interested in a positive relationship with Iran, including a relationship that delivers benefits for both of us, economic and otherwise. So we are not just interested in some political détente, but we are interested in a relationship.
The wonders of diplomacy. This nuclear deal could end the West Asian Cold War. But for that, both sides must swallow their ego. They must think about the long term. Right now, West Asia's future depends on two leaders, US President Joe Biden and Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.